Hey guys, welcome back to the Evolution of Confidence. Today we're going to talk about why vulnerability sucks, but it's necessary for your business. Out of anyone on earth, it feels like sometimes I cannot stand being vulnerable, especially on social media. Like, I don't know if I've ever cried on social media. I think I've cried on this podcast maybe in my sobriety episode, but speaking of that episode, I have taken down that episode and put it back up and unpublished it and published it so many times because I just feel so uncomfortable being vulnerable. It's very hard for me to open up like that, and doing it on here, I just had somebody in my office who brought it up and she was like, I really love that episode. It really resonated with me, and so many people have reached out to me more than any other episode that I have posted. That one has gotten the most response from people, and so many people messaging me, DMing me, all this stuff, which makes me feel great, but it also makes me feel like the Band-Aid has been ripped off. I'm just this is too much sometimes. I'm scared that I have lipstick on my teeth because I literally always do. But it's necessary. It's necessary to get a little bit deeper sometimes, especially when you live on the surface. You can find that things don't go your way as much in the world when you do live on the surface. Even in your business, a lot of the business advice that's in the books we read or the things that we've consumed over the years is from men, and it's a totally different vibe than when you are a woman-owned business and you are operating as a woman who has feelings. So, obviously men have feelings, okay? But what I want to talk about is how being vulnerable with clients and with people who are your prospects actually helps you generate more sales and generate more business for yourself, and can make you more human to the people who work for you. That's something that I have definitely had to learn, is how to be more human when it comes to my employees. Sometimes we think that people can read our minds, and sometimes we think of course people are going to know that I have feelings. Of course people are going to know that maybe I'm not having the best day and that's why I'm reacting this way or that way. But when you have such a tough exterior and you really rely on that tough exterior throughout the day, people do not understand from an outside perspective what you could be going through. Everyone in this world, when you walk around, is going through something that we know nothing about. And that's easier said and listened to than put into practice sometimes. When we judge people, or we judge people based on their lifestyle or what they do with their time, we are not thinking of what could be going on in their lives or what could have already transpired that would make that person that way. I was just having this discussion where sometimes I talk about this a lot, the rhetoric of thinking that a woman can just change her lifestyle completely on a dime, from being a working mom to a stay-at-home mom, or somebody who really is very work focused to somebody who's not. Small implementations can make your life more well-rounded and can create more balance for your life. And that's what I strive for literally every day, is to have a more balanced life and not be so work heavy all the time. But at the same time, there are reasons why I am this way. There are reasons why I focus so much on my work and I focus so much on making money, because I have that mindset of it could be gone one day, or the person who is maybe supporting you in your life, not me personally, but I'm just saying, if you're being supported in your life, and I don't want to project this onto anybody else, because there are people who create content that are if you think this way, this is what will eventually happen to you. But when you have seen people in your life have people walk out on them or leave them with nothing, it teaches you that you can't really rely on people and that you can really only rely on yourself. And here we are being vulnerable again. And of course, I want to run away and be okay, let's talk about my book. I don't want to be vulnerable, but that's just the reality of life, is that There are things that people go through, and it helps you connect with people when you are able to share that. And we don't always have to share our deepest, darkest secrets or things about our family or things like that, but we can share with people the reason why we are the way that we are so that they understand us better too. No one is going to understand when you're having a bad day or, again, reacting a certain way to things that they're saying to you if they don't know more about your story and who you are as a person and why you are the way you are. So let's talk about my book. So the composition book, this says not for resale because this is my copy. This is also a very rough draft because you can see that the pink is like a whole border on the top. It has taken me way too much time to put this together. When I am done with work and mom life at the end of the night, instead of watching reality TV now, I don't know what it is. Like, I've had some kind of weird growth, which I did not expect to happen, but I can't even stomach watching a lot of this reality TV anymore. Like, it's so boring to me. I can't take it. I used to love Bravo. I used to love all of these crazy shows, but like, when you start taking that time, little by little, to work on your side hustles or your side projects, or even your main hustle, like sending out properties at 12 o'clock at night, that stuff is always going to seem more important to you than watching somebody else's life. That's why when I talk about social media, like some people are like, oh, are you addicted to social media? I think I'm addicted to like creating content because I know that it helps my business and it's worked time and time again, but I don't scroll it because I don't really care to like live through somebody else's lens. I want to focus on my own life. So I encourage you guys to do that because it does create a happier lifestyle for you, I believe, to create things instead of just constantly consuming. Even with my kids, I encourage them to, even if it's a video game or like Minecraft, something to like build, like I encourage that more so than them like consuming a bunch of stuff, because at least they're creating something and they're being active in doing that and making their brains active instead of like mindlessly. I'm not a perfect mom, okay? They watch the iPad, but I try to encourage them to create things. Anyway, this is the composition book. The reason why I made it look like a composition book is because I am obsessed with the $3 composition books at Walgreens. I fill them up so quickly, but I love a lot of pages. And the problem with Autonomous Agent, I have it over here. Every time I'm at like a meeting or something, or if I'm on the phone, I'll just grab one of these, but there's only 5 pages in the back where you can write things down. So there's note pages in the back to write, but the rest is text. And I just write through them all the time, and then I end up with a bunch of books that I can't sell because I've written in all of them. This has a ton of notebook space, but it also has a planner. I have never been one to use a planner a lot because I use my Google Calendar, but I like writing things down. And these don't have like set months. As you can see, you can fill in the month yourself, since we are in the middle of the year. But then you also have real estate specific pages, like the marketing checklist for buyer outreach. So like when you're doing a call with a buyer, oh no, this is for your listings, to give reports to your sellers. So what I like to do is, especially when posting on social media, stuff like that, sometimes it's good for your own record too, to write down like how many views the property is getting, how many videos have been put out, how many times you've sent email marketing, how many SMS texts you've sent out about the property. You record it here and then you can share this with your sellers. Open house sign-in sheet. I talk about this a lot. Keep it in one place. So I put everything on here, and then it has checklists like just looking, plan to buy within a year, need to buy now, have a house to sell. So this can keep you really organized to have this log for the entire year. There's a bunch of pages of this, and that's on purpose. Then you have a lot of, well, let me go over the other ones that you can fill in. There is a buyer intake form, a listing fact sheet. So this is for when you go on your listing appointments. I do tell the agents a lot, like if you're going to go on listing appointments and you're not writing down the age of things, all of the facts and details about the house during the listing appointment, then you get the listing and you've got to ask them again for all that stuff. It can be frustrating for the seller and a little bit embarrassing. So this is talking about buyers. This is, again, the buyer intake form. This is going to take down their information, or you're going to take down their information of what they're looking for. And then this is all organized in one space. This is basically like a paper CRM. And it's going to teach you like what you should be asking the buyers while you're on the phone with them for the first call. Then we go into investment strategies and investment key terms. So you would be surprised at how many realtors don't know how to calculate these things like ARV, ROI. This is going to help you tremendously if you are trying to work with investors. This kind of gives you a breakdown of saving and why investing is more important than spending on like a purse. I just kind of let you visualize it. We talk about appreciation, cash flow, equity, cap rate, return on investment. There's a bunch of stuff in there about investing. So if you want to check this out, in the back says, make it make sense. I love that part. Make it make sense. If you want to purchase this, it's on Amazon. Just look up Autonomous Agent Composition Book, and it will not have this like weird formatting. It's going to be normal formatting when you order it. Okay. Anyway, let's talk again about vulnerability. So when you are talking to clients and you're trying to connect with them, how are you going to connect with them if you just stay completely on surface level? Of course, you want to be professional, but you also want to connect with people and have people feel comfortable connecting and sharing with you. When people share things with you, you should be listening, focusing, eye contact, paying attention, because just like I'm talking about how hard it is for me to be vulnerable, for somebody to be vulnerable and tell them about why they're selling their home or why they're making a specific purchase, even if it's not real estate related. Like if you, well, this is really like a real estate episode, so we can just talk about real estate. So when somebody's selling their house, there's a lot of stories behind it. Like if somebody's lived somewhere for years, I have a listing where they like raise their kids there. It's not a fix and flip. That's important for you to know, not just for the story aspect, but for the value of the home. People are going to be more inclined to spend a little bit more on a property where it's been worked on over time by the homeowner, as opposed to a fix and flip where nobody's lived there and they just like threw some flooring in and redid the kitchen. So these are things that you need to pick up on, and women are really good at this. We are very empathetic, and we can connect with people really easily, as opposed to sometimes men being a little bit more stringent. So I always like to talk to the lady of the house, to be honest. Sometimes there are couples where there's no lady of the house and it's a partnership, where they're married and it's two men or two women. You know, there's a myriad of clients that I work with, but I do like to connect with the clients who want to tell me the story of the home or the story of the property. Even if it's a commercial sale, there is a story behind it. A lot of these owners have owned their properties for 30 years and they have a story to tell. And for you to listen and learn, and trust me, you will learn. You think that buying all these masterminds and courses and this and that is more valuable than sitting and listening to your client who probably has a million stories to tell you about their business, about how they got to where they are today. Trust me, that's where I have learned the most. And that's the advice I have implemented the most, because it's a natural transaction of information. I don't even want to call it a transaction, but it's a natural way to obtain learning, like to learn from your clients' experiences. They will tell you what to invest in, what they have invested in, what they haven't, what's made them money, what hasn't. If you sit and listen to them and focus and learn and ask questions, trust me, they will share these things with you, and it won't just be you listening to their vulnerability. You will actually learn valuable lessons from it. And think about that on the opposite end. Like, being vulnerable with people and sharing your story with them and relating to them can actually help them more than it even helps you. So keep that in mind when you go about your day today and this weekend. Being vulnerable can actually help others as much as it can help yourself open up and process things that maybe you're going through that are making you react in ways that are coming from you not being able to communicate the way that you actually feel. Because trust me, I know what that's like, and it's definitely an easier life. It's hard in the beginning, like I said, it's like that ripping off the Band-Aid. But once you are able to connect with people more, I mean, I'm telling you, I was talking to this girl today and like she really made my day, and but like knowing that my vulnerability helped her, it was like mixed emotions. Like I was like, I feel exposed, but I feel good that she feels comfortable enough talking to me because I have shared things. So yeah, I hope that this helped you today, and I hope that you go into this weekend just like an open and free, amazing bird that you are. Have a great day, and thank you for listening to The Evolution of Confidence. Bye. Peace.